Hi everyone, this is Jeff Jackson. I want to share with you a presentation I gave at TACUSPA in October, and also a version of this presentation was done with Laura Pasquini and I at the NASPA Technology Conference, also in later October. And it's about using social media or just technology for alternative professional development using personal learning networks. And before I start, I want to say, for me, being in a small town in a rural Texas area, the internet was huge for me. Uh, we did not have the same access to information as you would from a large urban environment, from what at the time was newspapers or television media. And so for me, the internet was the equalization of information and the access to information, which was huge. And so the internet's always been a lot more to me than the ability to look at cute cat videos or something like that. So before I go too far, just a quick definition. For personal learning networks, I just put a community of learners, and this could be formal, informal. It does not have to be technology specific on here, but just a community of learners. And for alternative professional development, or altprodev is the hashtag that's used on Twitter about this, is finding non-traditional ways of learning. So what I mean by that, I created this little timeline. Um, Before 2000, or say 2004, whenever we looked at professional development, it was the more traditional ways of conferences, formal education, either to get your master's degree or doctoral degree, and maybe publishing. Maybe if you authored an article, or if you were in that process, or even if you just read the publications, that was kind of your professional development. That was your ways of learning more about your job, or developing your job skills. Well, around the year 2000, specifically with 99, was starting Blogger, and then later on with Facebook and others, Web 2.0 starts to create the social web. And then it really starts to change how we interact with the websites, right? It's no more reading a brochure online. It becomes part of, you get to interact with it. You leave comments, you blog. You can do that also. In 2004, Facebook started. It really took off more around 2006, I believe, was when they opened it up to outside the college networks. Twitter was created in 2006. That really opened up in 2007, specifically at South by Southwest in 2007. And then amongst higher education itself, in 2009, on October 2009, actually both of these I believe were October 2009, I started a website called breakdrink.com, which does podcasting, and then the essay chat, which was done by some people, Tom Grigglestein and Deborah Sandborg specifically, to create an online chat for student affairs professionals on Twitter. That has actually grown to several different kinds of chats since then, but that was the original kind of student affairs centric chat. So the kind of key results I see from this is we really decentralized learning. We removed hierarchies of how we learn, and we made professional development more accessible. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about all three of these. The best definition I can think of for decentralized learning, and this is probably not even grammatically correct, but just to say that anyone can ask a question, start a conversation, or participate in a community learning experience at any time without going through a committee or asking permission. So this is huge. If you think about our traditional ways of learning, if you want to go to a conference, how many of you have to seek permission to go to a conference, do budget proposals, and really justify your reason for doing that? But now anyone can really do this at any time, and you don't have to go through. And the best part about this, it doesn't matter if you're a grad student, if you're a new professional, if you're undergrad thinking about joining the profession, as anyone can participate in this. It doesn't matter really what your role is. It doesn't matter what your position is, or even if you have the right degree from the right institution. And so, just as an example, I was able to, this is October 11th, just ask a question. I just said, do you think more conservative members of our profession have a voice? And if you're not familiar with higher education, it's typically, I would say it's more of a left-leaning liberal community of professionals. And so I was able to get several responses. This is some of them. I didn't do all of them. And then a lot of these had more conversations behind them. Like we were able to continue talking after this. To remove hierarchy. So there's someone, Kelly McCarthy, and you can find her on Twitter. She decided in January, as a grad student, she wanted to interview 52 professionals in 52 weeks, and she's actually gone way beyond 52. And I believe she did it in 4 months. And so she interviewed, faculty, researchers, directors, I believe even vice presidents, via Skype, via phone calls, and in other ways. And so when you think about this, the fact that she was able to connect with all of these people online, or at least initially online via Twitter, how fast this happened. If you look at it, if she did not have those immediate connections, the amount of work that it would take to actually go in and research the 52 people to interview is much higher. So she went way beyond the 52. I don't know her total number now, but she's trying to interview as many people as she can, just to find out about their experiences in higher ed, what it is they do, what do they like, and any words of advice there. So I'm pretty sure it's not written in book form yet, but I hope it is someday, because it's a great experience. And as a part of that also, is just being an average professional and having a podcast. I was able to interview Anya Kamenetz and Eric Qualman on our podcast to talk about their book and their research and their experiences also, which is a pretty cool experience for me, as the some authors I really admire in the research and effort to be able to interview with them. And access. Now there is a cost, and the cost is time. It doesn't cost to have a Twitter account. It doesn't cost to have these online experiences, but there's a cost of time. Sue Beckingham, though, I want to say, is a friend of mine from the UK that did a research experience last year and is able to come over to San Antonio and Austin, go to South by Southwest. She met with a few people, myself included, and she was able to do that because of the relationships she already established via Twitter and participating in online chats and online conversations on Twitter. And then she's able to come in and have those real life face-to-face meetings at that time. A few of my favorite resources is Essay Chat. It happens twice a day on Thursday. Break Drink is my website. Higher Ed Live is another great resource. There's a lot more than this, and there's more chats for specific niche groups, but these are some of the ones I participate in. Now, before you really jump into all of this, I would recommend to create some type of social media plan. And this is something that I had to retroactively do. And I did it actually after my son was born. You saw my photo up there. For me, I wanted to change how I viewed Facebook, to make Facebook more of a personal interaction. So what I mean by that, these are my close family and friends. These are the people I don't mind sharing the intimate moments of my family with. And so because of that, I went and probably took off about 600 people off of my Facebook profile. Now, Twitter I use primarily for content, and so and a part of that is great to have great discussions on there because of it, but that's what I want to use it for. So if your cat did something awesome, or Glee was really great last night, or this award show's coming up, or you're Foursquare and have great sandwiches at your local deli where you're the mayor, I just don't really care. Like I don't want to open up Twitter and see streams full of 500 people checking in on Foursquare. Now, if someone does that occasionally, but we have really great conversations in there, that's fine. But if that's like your primarily thing, and you have Twitter to broadcast out everywhere, I don't want to follow that, because I don't have large moments in my day to spend on Twitter. So I want to be able to, when I have a free 30 minutes, to look in there. It's almost like an RSS feed now. See what's happening, see what people are talking about, participate in some conversations, and probably get out, just because I don't have a lot of time to do that. Google Plus is still my best I think is by far the best engagement tool, except that there's not enough people there. However, Google Plus is so new. Keep your eye on that. I just think, the more Google innovates that investment is going to be huge. The tech community still really loves Google Plus and hangs out on there all the time. So I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. It's not a Google Buzz or Wave situation. So these are higher education professionals. When I asked, what have you gained from being online. And there's several different things from perspective to networking. And when you think that even over here, Chris is in New York and Don is in Hawaii, that's pretty huge. The fact that I can have these relationships, and I have a few people. Pete actually lives close to me. I worked with him before in Wisconsin, Chicago. I believe Tom was in Florida, and so to be able to have these connections, and I say networking, but not in the what can I get out of this networking, but in the really authentic, like I want to be a part of this community, invest in the community, and provide resources to it, kind of way. You gain a lot. You gain a lot out of this. And I realize that we're still in a time where the people who make, or the decision makers, may not fully embrace technology, but you can still find ways for alternative professional development, either creating learning spaces on campus. Is it a book club? Are you going to bring in speakers? Are you going to do webinars for your department? Creating those kinds of spaces. And also think about Google does something called 20% time, and that's what they tell Google employees, that you have 20% of your time to engineer or to work or develop on things that you're truly passionate about. And so what would happen if we gave our employees a chunk of time, maybe not 20% because that's a lot, but maybe 10%, 5% of your time, to say, whatever you're really passionate about, learn that thing, read the article, learn how to that piece of technology, write an article, blog, whatever it is that you want to do, learn how to do that during this chunk of time in the office, because it's going to make you a better professional and a better employee and have a profound effect on our office at the same time. All right, so that's an abbreviated version without discussion. So thanks for watching. If you want to have a conversation about this, use the hashtag altprodev, and you can find me here on Twitter, twitter.com/Jeff Jackson, or Google Plus. If you go to jeffjackson.co, you can find me there also. Thanks a lot.